with a wave of nostalgia. I wondered, whatever happened to my favorite video game series? So I took it upon myself to create a new cover in Photoshop for one of my favorite games as a child, NBA Street. Get ready, because I'm going to use my years of design experience to take you down this trip down memory lane. Let's see what happens when design collides with the golden era of gaming. And what's going on, YouTube? It's Ali Dope checking in once again. Picture it. It's the early 2000s, a golden era in gaming where electronic arts reigned supreme. If you were there, you know it was pure magic. Your trusty PS2, Xbox, or GameCube. It was your portal to endless joy and hours of fun. Who could forget those epic gatherings with your friends? The hours you spent playing NBA Street Volume 1, Volume 2, Street Home Court. The thrill of crossing over an opponent and hitting a game breaker. What happened to those games that used to fill our heart with joys? When we used to run home after school and play the game for hours. I mean, we still kind of do that. But like back then. Now, I'm not even talking about just the NBA Street series. I'm talking about NBA Street, NBA Ballers, Def Jam Vendetta, NFL Street, FIFA Street, something. You know what I'm saying? They all seem to just fade away into abyss. Like with everything, the gaming industry just really evolved. And we're just left with the bittersweet realization that those times were moments in our lives and we'll never get them back. It's like, no, I'm joking. Those games were good for specific moments in our life. And those times and those moments are times we should cherish and remember. Now is a time way before life happened and bills and sponsor billery. As we look back on those unforgettable gaming experiences, let's celebrate the joy that they brought us. They may be gone, but their legacy lives on in our hearts. Here's to the golden era of gaming. May its memories never fade. Every game needs a concept, and the concept for this is 3 characters. Similar to Pokemon, you'll pick your main character that you want to be your mentor. And then through this, you'll rise through the street underworld to the league with the help of your mentor and social media, of course. So you'll win games for special game breakers, clothes, skills, similar to Def Jam Vendetta. We had to use SGA, I had to use Giannis, and then I had to use LaMelo. Even though the game is called like NBA Legends, I wanted to use people that are like relevant to basketball right now and that a lot of people kind of know. A lot of people, SGA's on the come up. LaMelo, he got all the youth in a headlock. And Giannis, he already just won his ring. And I feel like he's going to be like one of the faces of the league. Right now, I'm placing all the characters in their respective spots where they could possibly be. Not gonna lie, SGA looks crazy. That's funny. That is a funny picture. When I seen that, I was like, nah, I gotta get my man SGA right. I used Midjourney to create this dope background. I went through a lot of versions to get that. I'm cutting out all the players first, and then as I cut out each player, I'm gonna make these adjustments. I'm just creating a mask. All I did was duplicate the mask, put the mask on top of the group, and then copy that same mask for each layer. So now you're making your adjustments within the mask. As you can see now on the screen is camera raw. So on camera raw, we're just making a few adjustments: shadows, light, exposure, clarity, of course, texture, of course. I add a little bit of sharpening and in order to play with the skin tones. I'm in the color mixer right now. Now right here, I selected the color range. We're gonna go for highlights in the color range right now. And so for color range, we're doing highlights and we're gonna do the shadows. Use the color range, the selection that you have on the main object. Click on the bottom, create a new exposure. That color range is gonna create a mask for it already. And then you just need to adjust the sliders. And I'm gonna do this for each of the characters. So now after you do all that, what you wanna do is you wanna create a new layer with 50% gray filled in, and then you want to set that layer to overlay. This is where you're going to make your adjustments for the burn and dodge layers. And then burn is just making stuff darker, because obviously if you get burnt, you get dark, and as you dodge the heat, you make it brighter. So those are going to affect the highlights. When you click on burn, make sure you click on the top, make sure it comes down to shadows, and then same thing for dodge. If you're in dodge, make sure you go down to the highlights. All right, so now I want to adjust the jersey. So right now what I'm doing is I am selecting the jersey with the lasso tool, and then all I did for the jersey is the same thing I just did. I just adjusted the exposure on the jersey a little bit, and I did the brightness and contrast for the jersey as well. He had the chain swinging from left to right like AI in 1990 something. Alright, so right now I'm cutting out every little piece of this netting for the hoop. I had to swap out the basketball to make it like a more Globetrotter basketball. Shout out to the Globetrotters. I add a little bit of grunge onto it because it is supposed to be a street ball, so it's supposed to be a little dirty, a little bit dingy. So I want to add a little bit of realism to that. I also made the same adjustments on the rim that I did for the other players as far as burning, dodging for the rim. And I added a little bit of Gaussian blur on the rim as well, just so it can give it a little bit more depth of field and give it just a little bit more blur. So right now I'm adding the shadows. Really all you gotta do is use like thin flowed soft black brush and just literally paint where the shadows would be coming. So the shadows, the lighting is coming from the back, so the shadows are gonna be pushing forward. And then I also copied the actual character, flip it vertically, go to blending options, color overlay, black, and then add a Gaussian blur onto that specific layer. Set it to soft light or overlay, whatever float your boat. I did create a new layer on top of each layer that had a shadow, and then I painted soft black with a nice low flow on there as well, just to give it a little bit more realism on the shoes. So now for the highlights, you gotta just create a new color fill layer, then you invert the layer mask. All I'm doing is painting in the highlights. First, I always do the outlines in a nice hard brush. I drop that layer to like a screen in the blending mode, bring down the opacity. Alright, so right now I created another color fill layer here on Giannis. I wanted to add a little bit of shadow and darkness into the player that was trying to block him, just so it just gives, like I said, a little bit more realism. Also, I ended up changing the color fill, and that's why I said use color fill instead of like hue and saturation or any other thing, because you can just easily change the color of the highlight in like 2 clicks. So I did double click and then go and change all the highlights. It was like a peachy white color before based on the colors, but then I changed the peachy white to like an all blue. Also, as you can see, I went back to the globe and I added like some motion to the globe. If you've seen in the original street cover, it was like motion on the basketball, so I just wanted to, you know, pay some homage to the first cover. Duplicate, put everything in one folder, duplicate that folder, and then this is where you're gonna make some of your final adjustments. Open up camera raw filter, add a little bit more clarity. You can make your tint adjustments if you want it more blue, if you want it more warm. A lens filter to add a RGB-ish looking effect. I added a color balance and I added a photo filter to give it like a nice blue hue. I added some lightning. You know I gotta add lightning for only dope, but I added some lightning because I just felt like it'd be rainy, but I added white just so it would be easier to screen. Right now I'm adding in some fog, just so the fog, like I said, atmosphere elements. I'm adding some sparks and stuff. I'm adding some sparks and some cracks to the actual basketball court as well. And now finally, for everything to come together, we have to give our new NBA street a name. So we're gonna call it NBA Street. Drum roll, please. Legends. And then I wanted to still, like I said, pay homage to the first game. So I added like that yellow, blue stroked highlights. Also, if you want the Legends text, and I actually added like 6 more. I just want to give it to y'all just so if y'all wanted to use it for any purpose or anything like that. But it's there if you want it. So how did you feel about NBA Street growing up? Would you like to see it come back, or are some things better left untouched? You let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, check out my other video where I'm creating a sports highlight video. In the meantime, in between time, y'all already know the deal. Keep learning, keep hustling, and most importantly, keep creating, creators. Ali Dope, I'm checking out. Yes, sir.